Calorie restriction has long stood as a gold standard in anti-aging research, consistently shown to extend lifespan and delay age-related diseases in a variety of animal models. The underlying mechanisms often point toward reduced metabolic stress, lower inflammation, improved insulin sensitivity, and activation of autophagy, all of which are hallmarks of slowed biological aging. However, translating calorie restriction into sustainable human practice is fraught with challenges, not the least of which are hunger, nutrient deficiencies, and reduced quality of life over time. This has led researchers and nutrition experts to explore more nuanced strategies that offer similar cellular benefits without the drawbacks of across-the-board calorie cuts. Two promising approaches have emerged: targeted carbohydrate restriction and micronutrient precision. Together, these strategies may provide a smarter, more sustainable alternative to blanket calorie restriction in the pursuit of longevity. Targeted carbohydrate restriction, particularly reducing high glycemic load foods and refined sugars, serves as a metabolic signal that can activate many of the same pathways as calorie restriction, especially those involved in insulin and nutrient sensing. Carbohydrates are the macronutrient most likely to spike insulin, which in turn suppresses autophagy and promotes fat storage, inflammation, and oxidative stress when chronically elevated. Reducing carb intake, without necessarily cutting overall calories, can lower insulin levels, activate AMPK, suppress mTOR activity, and trigger cellular repair mechanisms like autophagy. These are precisely the effects that make calorie restriction beneficial in the first place. Unlike calorie restriction, however, low-carb or moderate-carb, low-glycemic diets can often be maintained long-term without feelings of deprivation or compromised energy, making them more realistic for everyday life. Moreover, carbohydrate restriction can be selectively applied rather than chronically imposed. Strategies such as intermittent fasting, time-restricted eating, or carb cycling offer flexibility while still preserving the metabolic benefits of nutrient scarcity. In this way, targeted carb restriction acts less like a diet and more like a rhythmic metabolic cue, telling the body when it's time to build and when it's time to clean up. This approach preserves lean mass, avoids triggering hormonal imbalances that can occur with chronic calorie suppression, and is easier to integrate with physical activity and social eating. But while managing macronutrient balance is important, the precision tuning of micronutrient intake may be just as critical, particularly as we age. Aging cells face increasing oxidative stress, declining mitochondrial efficiency, and impaired DNA repair, all of which are processes that depend heavily on vitamin and mineral cofactors. Vitamins like B3, through its role in NAD+ production, vitamin D, as a regulator of mTOR and immune function, and vitamin K2, supporting mitochondrial respiration and calcium regulation, have emerged as key players in anti-aging biochemistry. Micronutrient optimization doesn't merely prevent deficiency, it supports energy production, genetic stability, and anti-inflammatory signaling, laying the foundation for healthy aging at the cellular level. What's unique about the micronutrient-focused strategy is that it enhances the execution of longevity-promoting pathways rather than merely triggering them. Carbohydrate restriction may flip the switch toward autophagy or mitophagy, but without adequate B vitamins, magnesium, zinc, or antioxidants, the process can stall or generate unintended stress. For example, mitochondrial turnover and repair, essential aspects of aging well, require a steady supply of micronutrients to proceed efficiently. When these nutrients are deficient or imbalanced, the body may initiate repair but lack the resources to complete the job, resulting in stalled recycling and increased cellular damage. Precision supplementation, tailored to the individual's metabolic status and lifestyle, ensures that every autophagic or hormetic response translates into actual repair. Importantly, combining carbohydrate modulation with micronutrient precision is not just additive, it's synergistic. The metabolic environment created by lower glycemic variability makes vitamin-dependent processes more effective, while adequate vitamin levels make carbohydrate restriction safer and more sustainable. This dual strategy allows for a high-functioning state of metabolic flexibility, the ability to shift smoothly between energy sources, respond appropriately to stress, and recover efficiently. It's this flexibility, not extreme rigidity, that appears to underpin the most successful aging trajectories. In contrast, general calorie restriction often lacks this precision. While it lowers energy intake and can reduce systemic metabolic stress, it does so without necessarily accounting for nutrient density, meal timing, or the quality of macronutrient sources. It can reduce both good and bad signals indiscriminately, slowing down not only growth but also immune vigilance, physical performance, and hormone balance. Over time, this blunt approach may lead to unintended consequences, especially if not carefully supervised or adjusted for age, sex, and activity level. In summary, while calorie restriction remains a foundational model in anti-aging science, targeted carbohydrate restriction paired with micronutrient optimization offers a more refined and potentially more sustainable approach. It achieves many of the same molecular benefits: autophagy activation, inflammation reduction, mitochondrial support, without the social, psychological, or physiological burdens that come with long-term calorie deprivation. This strategy reflects a shift from broad suppression to intelligent modulation, telling the body not just to do less, but to do better. In the evolving landscape of nutritional longevity, less carb and more precision may indeed work better, not just for lifespan, but for the quality of life we enjoy along the way.